Hey guys, so this is our last week of class, and there are a few important things that I wanted to point out. And the first is that typically things are due on Sunday, but officially the last day of this class is Friday. And so this draft of your scholarly project proposal is going to be due this Friday so that I have a chance to get the grades in by deadline and the official exam date. Scheduled for this class is July 1st, which is this Friday. So please make a note of that because it is a little different than what we've been doing so far this semester. And so the scholarly project, and I'll take a minute to say this, don't shoot the messenger if this is the first that you are learning of this. The more that I'm working with you guys on some of the things this semester, the more I'm learning that really you haven't learned about a lot of things that perhaps you should have along the way. But fortunately, we have this course, and I've been able to add a few things into it, to switch a few things around, to try to get you guys where you need to be. The important things to remember here: the scholarly project is something that is required by the College of Ed. So every doctoral student in the College of Education at U of M has to complete a scholarly project. Now, what that project is, the different program areas or different departments are given some leeway there as to what it constitutes. But one thing that they all have in common is it has to be so well done that it is ready for submission for a conference proposal or for publication. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be accepted, and the reason for that is that's completely out of our control. And also it takes sometimes, especially for like journal reviews, 8 to 10 weeks to get those back, and so it just isn't feasible for them to make you guys have something accepted. But the point is that it is ready, it is submitted, and that we have confirmation that it's been submitted for either a conference proposal for presentation or a journal article. And so you've got a couple of choices here. In IDT, there's typically two choices. Now, you can make the case for a different kind of project. You work that out with your advisor. But typically, students do one of these two options. And so option one is an actual research study where there's some data collected and analyzed. IRB is done. In talking with each of some of you individually and looking at your proposals, I don't think any of you are ready for that option. You guys will probably go in with option two, a survey of the literature related to your research agenda. Okay, and so those of you, and almost all of you, took the lit review class with me last year. You've got a lit review written, so fortunately that's what you guys can use. Some of you have even taken that lit review as I pushed during that class and submitted it to AECT and gotten it accepted. So that's wonderful. You can talk to your advisor and see, can you use that for your scholarly project, and if so, awesome. Okay. If you didn't take that class, hopefully you're working on a literature review now, and you can have it ready to submit. The important thing is this has to be done before you're cleared to take comprehensive exams. So really, by September, this has to be in the books, and that's not very long. I sent you guys an email last week, and if you didn't see it or didn't pay attention to it, now's the time to go back and look at it. It's a call for proposals for AERA, which is another excellent organization. And so if you missed the call for AECT, you didn't do that one, here's a second chance. You could submit to AERA, your lit review, to have it reviewed by AERA. So it's really cool because you'll also get a lot of feedback back, whether or not they accept your proposal. You'll get to see the feedback from national or international even reviewers, and it can help you strengthen your lit review that will go into your dissertation. So that's a really cool thing. But also, especially speaking as a reviewer, you don't want to turn in mess, because this is someone who's taking their time volunteering to review this stuff. And so that's why it really needs to be in good shape before it goes to them. And so if you haven't done the feedback that I gave in the lit review class, go ahead and do that first. Maybe get your advisor's feedback and then submit it, and you'll be ready to go for the scholarly project. So that's really, really cool if you have that done already. And so if you don't have it done, like I said, you need to get started on it immediately. Or if you have a different idea, you want to take it in a different direction, that's cool too. As always, with your particular cohort, I don't serve as the advisor for any of you, and so I don't know what conversations have been had, if any, if you've ever even been made aware of this requirement. But everything, you can't just say, Dr. Weaver said, your advisor has to be, it doesn't matter what I say, your advisor has to approve it. Um, Okay, so here's lots of information. I'm sorry about it's so text heavy and I didn't even include any graphics. But this is something I wanted to get in here because I started to realize that you guys weren't prepared. And if you didn't find out about this until fall and you're wanting to be cleared for comps mid-semester in the fall, you were going to be in trouble. And so it the information is here even though it's not presented as pretty as I would have liked. Okay, and so now here's what your assignment is. It's not to do the scholarly project, so don't freak out. The assignment is to write the proposal that your advisor would approve to say, yes, we're going to move this forward to count as your scholarly project. And so it just has to be 3 to 5 pages, APA, double spaced. And so you tell us, are you going with option 1 or option 2? If you're going with a third option, you're living on the edge, but you go ahead with that. But provide a 3 to 5 page proposal document. It has to have a brief introduction to the problem or the research area that you'll address. What is the problem? Why are you doing this? And you guys have already started drafting that for your proposal, so that's pretty cool. And then its importance, why that's that significance, kind of in the proposal where you have to write the significance, that's that same thing, the importance in academic or professional spheres. And then a brief summary of the relevant literature, so you're not putting in a whole literature review, you're just saying, this is kind of the direction I'm going, this is what I'm building on, these kind of main things that I read about, hit the highlights. The relevant theoretical foundation, if you're doing a research project, that option 1, you have to have that theoretical foundation there, the theoretical framework. If you're just doing a literature review, you can say kind of this is, it pulls on that previous piece. And so this is what it's based on. It's based on the arcs, or it's based on so-and-so's work. You just kind of tell which theories that you're basing this on. Okay, and then if you're doing that option number 1, the methodology and data collection instruments that you plan to use if you're doing that option number 1. And so if you're doing option 2, that might not be applicable. And note it does say if applicable. And so turn that in a Word document, and then you've got it ready also to submit to your advisor to get their approval, and you can move forward with that. At this point, I'm happy to have individual conversations with you about this if necessary. Reach out by email or in the community, in the discussion board in this course, and we can set up a time to talk about it to get some more information. But this really, I might love your idea, but at the end of the day, it's your advisor who has to approve it. So keep that in mind. What I'm having you do is just draft it out and make sure you have some solid direction, and I will give you feedback as well to help you kind of get it shaped up and ready, and so that you're that much closer to meeting this requirement. All right, best of luck to you guys with this final project. And I want to say one more time, remember this is due Friday instead of Sunday, because Friday, July 1st is the last day of classes. All right.